ladies and gentlemen, this is Napoleon Total back again with some Shogun 2 Fall of the Samurai, scramble for the Far East mod, and we are back with Shogun 2 Fall of the Samurai, I guess. Last time we left off doing stuff, like, I don't really know how to account for you what is going on, because all we're doing is just, essentially, putting in a short way is getting more land, moving west. We're still continuing to, what I call is moving west. And obviously we've been getting a lot more provinces. This is the part in which is kind of boring, but it is necessary for the growth of our empire. I say boring because there's not a lot of fighting. Real fighting will probably be against the British eventually, but yeah, things do get heated up pretty quick. Obviously I'm recording this ahead of time, so you guys definitely will not know what the heck I'm talking about, but when you guys do know what the heck I'm talking about, it's interesting. What is going on? We have taken North-South Shinano and we're just moving on Echu. And obviously I need to declare war, and the Fukui are no joke. They have 4 provinces. I personally have 16, so it's a joke compared to me, of course. But they're not. If I take those 4 provinces, it's gonna make me even more powerful. It is essentially, putting in a nice way, doubling a 4th of my power, which, as you can see on the map, it is also strategically important. They are the ones that are at most bordering the British, and we are coming close, very close to the British Kingdom, the United Kingdom, very quickly. You see, in the south there is this inland Jutland peninsula, in which we are interested in taking. Although we could see later on that is going to be somewhat of a problem. But anyway, back to the main attraction. The enemy army that we destroyed last time I don't know what it decided to do. So as of right now, I'm just trying to move agents to see what is in the quote-unquote enemy bases. Just trying to wait for some replenishment with that army, doing stuff left and right, and just kind of trying to see what the heck is going on. Obviously, I do have spies in quote-unquote enemy territory. For those that are interested in who would I consider my enemy is everyone to the west of me and everyone to the north of me, which includes the Southern Alliance, which we are not at war with, but they are going to betray us eventually, so we have to watch out for that. The enemy decides to put their rebels, their Masamune rebels, right in front of my army, and I'm just gonna return that favor by having my army auto-resolve the enemy. So that's interesting. Yes, nice. Once again, nice job done with the buildings. Like, very nice job. From what I've been told, some of the buildings are actually been done by the team itself. So thank you guys. If my word is to be taken account of, I think most of the buildings in Japan are revamped. Almost all the buildings in Korea have been revamped, so they don't look Japanese looking. All the buildings in Russian Vladivostok, so the Russian Far East, has been revamped. And as of right now, we are just gonna quick save because my computer has a tendency to crash. Although especially for this mod, nothing against this mod, it's just my computer problems. Yeah, so cadet school we have built in Tomi, which means we can start recruiting some good cavalry, and off the bat, once again, we're just building railroads. We are making 1,000 koku a turn, so that economy's just basically been boosted. I do not know how the heck my economy has been boosted, but good thing to know is that our economy has been boosted, so we can just start building railroads. What else is going on? We are eventually going to go to war with essentially all the members to the west of us, but as of right now, I'm still not prepared because, yeah, so we're just going to face on another enemy force. I don't even know the names of these places. I just know that from the map, a lot of people are at war with me, and to be exact, on the map is the northwest. So from the west of me, most of the northwest groups, Japanese clans, are at war with me. What does that mean? We're gonna be fighting a lot, that's all I can say. Although most of these battles are quite easy. Once again, you do have to realize these are not European factions. If they are European factions, it'll be kind of scary. The enemy army, as you can see in this case, is mostly made up of swords, bowmen. They don't have a lot of cavalry, which is good for me, because technically, the enemy, the best way to deal with quote-unquote European armies is to use cavalry. Flank, flank, and that's the way how you defeat European armies, from what I know. Obviously, European armies rely on something else, and that's called guns. They have superior guns, and they're just gonna obliterate anything that hits them front on. Not immediately, but eventually. The closer you get, the deadlier it is. And because my enemy is using bows and arrows, we're gonna have an easy time. Speaking of easy time, we just obliterated their general, so yes. The general still charges towards us, but he's just getting obliterated. And the only thing that is left is this one poor horse. Now, for those that are wondering, historically, cavalry was... How do I put it in a nice way? Cavalry was seen as the men for the nobility. And that is really because during most of the war, during most of the European wars in almost every country, every nation, major nation, cavalry, or horses in this case, is being owned by the rich. And therefore, it is a problem when you have a lot of cavalry to be killed, to be exact. As a matter of fact, I believe, like, horses were to be traded, and not only traded, they were, like, especially for the very rich, like, like, for the very rich, horses are something to be desired upon, and a lot of horses, the more the better. One example, this is, for those who don't know, Napoleon's horse is called Marengo. And if I'm correct, he is a Scottish breed, Scottish-Irish breed, I believe. So, the horse is, if you know what the heck Scotland and Ireland is, Napoleon's horse Marengo is from the United Kingdom. Which is weird, because Wellington's horse, the Duke of Wellington, his horse was a French breed. I don't know what his horse name was, but, well, obviously, it's less popular than Napoleon's horse, Marengo. And Marengo was literally named after Napoleon's decisive defeat of the Austrians at the Battle of Marengo, in which he said, yeah, I forgot that too. Something like, I lost the battle at 5 o'clock, I lost the battle at 3 o'clock, won it again at 5 o'clock, something like that. But anyway, as of right now, the enemy is just charging into my men, and we're essentially giving them a wreck. The close, as you can see here, and we are using suppressing fire, which makes the enemy troops go extremely slow, while we just literally obliterate them. That is not as much of a problem. As closer they get, the slower they get. So, and some of the enemy units are just turning around. And back to our conversation on horses. That is why during most of the eras, you can see a lot of like noblemen using horses. Now, or poor people given horses. Depends on the nation that we're talking about. For example, I can't really think of one. So that's kind of sad. Poor people weren't given horses, but most poor people were expected to be performed in the infantry, which, let's be honest, it's not a bad role. Horses have their own problems, infantry have their own problems. The good thing about horses is their speed. The bad thing about horses, obviously, is literally the opposite. The bad thing about horses is they get killed very easily. For example, when being shot at, these guys will die, horses in particular will die very easily. And horses, unlike humans, need to be fed. Well, obviously humans need to be fed too, but my meaning is that, technically you're feeding 2 guys for 1 warrior, because a horse is technically not a soldier. So, obviously there's such things as war horses, so technically, but you can argue at the same time the horse is also a part of the soldier, so yeah, stuff like that. Anyway, we just won that battle with 299 loss, 300 essentially, while we destroyed the enemy army, which I believe was bigger than us, but, well, I don't care. Let's just move on to Mino. Let's just keep conquering. And, we're just gonna sit outside of Ichizu. An enemy army is coming, but I don't really care because the enemy army technically is... Even in a field battle, I'm not afraid. Who am I afraid of at this point? It's pretty much the Northern Alliance backstabbing me because I have most of my armies in the west, so that's a problem. Hida is being controlled by the Takayama, and we will see too that we will eventually destroy these guys. The Fukui decides to reinforce stuff like that, troop movement in the Mino, but I don't really care. The only thing that I care about is, once again, the Northern Alliance backstabbing me. And that's not really technically a problem. It is troublesome, but not the biggest problem, because look at my economy. It's making 10k a turn, 10,000 a turn. So that is, well, that is a lot. Now for total war equations, like I like to think of every like one. Okay, so I don't know why, but every time I see a unit is worth 200 koku, I don't really think of 200 koku. I think of add 3 more zeros and then it's 2,000 koku, because technically maintaining an army during this time is nowhere near rich. Heck, even the Napoleonic Wars, it's not cheap. Did I say rich? Okay, my bad. Maintaining an army at this point is not cheap. It's extremely taxing on your economy. Doesn't matter if you're recruiting conscripts or whatnot, but at least during this time, after the Napoleonic Wars, most of the armies of Europe have been just shortened down, and only the professionals have been, at least during times of peace, have been sent to war, essentially. You can see this in the Crimean War with the Russians. Not so much with the British and the French, which we'll get on later. They relied on something else. But literally, at this point, most of the European armies were smaller compared to their Napoleonic War counterparts. And once again, for those that don't know by now, I'm more focused on my studies of history. Have been more focused on the Napoleonic Wars as compared to the Victorian era. Obviously, the problem with the Victorian era for me is that there's too much stuff going on so quickly. And Napoleonic Wars is the exact same thing, but I like the Napoleonic Wars, which is why I'm so interested to see a Napoleonic Total War 3 for the Total War series. Obviously, we kind of have that with the Napoleon NTW3 mod. But I really would like to see the new features from Three Kingdoms being added in Napoleon Total War, in Napoleon Total War 3. That is not a mod. That is official. Like, for those that know what I mean. I also would like to see a Medieval 3, but yeah. We just have to see what CA does. For those who don't know, CA is the company that makes these Total War games. Lately, a lot of people have been harassing them on, well, not harassing, but like, their opinions of what they did to Three Kingdoms was very poor. I'm not gonna lie, it made my heart drop sometimes, but then again, CA has also given me some ups and downs over the years. As you can see, now we are assaulting the castle of... Let me get the list here. Okay, Toyama, and this is in 1859. As you can see, Toyama is basically the builders didn't use a lot of material. As you can see, the inner layer is pretty good. The outer layer is cheap, literally effects, and that's it. As you can see, my guys are off to shooting again. And after that one shot, we're just gonna move up and we're just gonna get closer, because the closer you are, the more deadlier you are. And yes, yeah. And I think they're gonna fire. Yes, they fired. Okay, but like I was saying, I'm not really an expert on the Victorian era. I know you guys know who are the experts. Well, the Total FOTS team, they're experts. As a matter of fact, they're modding. They're doing stuff mostly historically accurate. Actually, no. From what I'm looking at, it's almost all historically accurate. A few variations left and right, but hey, it's a game. Although, let's be honest, like 100% historically accurate games are not real. because the aspect of you being able to respond is already historically inaccurate. But yeah, give the FOTS community a clap. Like they literally did a very good job on the uniforms, the equipment, and whatnot. They're the real experts of Victorian era combat. I prefer, I think I'm very good at Napoleonic warfare, which is why when we do, well, not our next campaign, but when we do another campaign eventually, see a famous Napoleonic War faction that fought in the Napoleonic Wars. My bad. Just to make this clear, in the exact same mod that we're gonna be playing, a faction that actually fought in the Napoleonic Wars. Their uniforms are gonna be looking extremely similar to the Napoleonic Wars. I think that's for those that understand what the heck I'm saying, would realize, yeah, you guys will pretty much know who the heck I'm talking about, which faction I'm talking about. Yes. That faction, I can 100% tell you what the heck is going on. But as of right now, we are just blasting the enemy. You see me having this unit of lifeguards turn facing the wrong way, and I did that on purpose. And the reason is simply because I knew they were in range, but I didn't want them to open fire. And the reason why I didn't want them to open fire is because I was afraid of friendly fire, which does hurt. And once again, nice job on the uniforms and stuff like that, the colors, and yeah. I think we had a discussion about colors and standards of the army, but yes, yes, very nice indeed. Our men are moving up to cliff the walls, scale the walls to be exact, and yes, colonial infantry for the German army, I don't know really much about them. Although, you can argue that the German army has been fighting colonially. It wants to expand its empire, to be honest with you guys. And it was kind of like the Dutch, the Netherlands, has a bigger empire than colonial empire, by all means, compared to the Prussians, or the German Empire at this point. Should be? I think so. Yeah, so this is why, Germany was adopting aggressive land policy. Part of the reason why, at least, aggressive land policy in Europe and in the colonies, which is, for example, around this time they'll be taking German South Africa. I think. Don't quote me on this. Once again, I'm not an expert on this time period. So yes. What are we doing right now? We're just trying to get into the fortress. I wouldn't really call this a fortress, I would just call this outer part, at least. I don't even know what I would call this. I would just call this like a place, a wall. Yeah, we're just gonna storm into this wall, and we're just gonna go over it, and we're just gonna attack. What can I talk about? I think I talked about most of the stuff. A common misconception of the Prussian army is that the Prussians wore black. That would not be happening until the Franco-Prussian War, and during the Napoleonic Wars, they will still be wearing the uniform that you see right on screen, and that is Prussian blue. It is a very dark blue, similar to the French blue, although you can argue... Actually, no, you can't argue. It is way darker than the French blue. And for those that are wondering, French blue is not regular blue, it's indigo, which means, especially during campaign, and when I'm talking about uniforms, I'm talking about campaign uniforms, the blue turns into grayish and extremely unprofessional, if that's what the name that you want to use. It looks kind of dab. It looks more like Prussian blue, to be exact. But I'm colorblind, so I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. But in terms of colors, I mean. But from what we know, that indigo turns into dark purple or something like that. The British redcoats, their uniforms will eventually turn into pink, and that is after years after campaigning, so that's going to be a problem. What else? Nothing else, actually. White was actually the favorite uniform of the French, at least the Anjou regime, which is, for those that don't know, Anjou regime stands for the Royal French Army. Actually, no, it doesn't stand for that, but just to make things clear, the Anjou regime is the regime before the French Revolution, so a time of kings, monarchs, stuff like that, during France. And their army and the Austrian army, up until, for the Austrians at least, up until the Franco-Austrian War, yeah, their uniforms were white, and at least for most of the Austrian army and the French army, their uniforms were white, and the reason was simply because white during campaigning season doesn't turn color. Now you might be wondering, wait, isn't white a good target? Well, technically, yes and no, in the sense that during the time that we're talking about, weapons were not that good. How do I put it in a nice way? Good, accurate. And what does that mean is that whatever your color you're wearing, you can even wear. Heck, you can even wear white. You can even wear diamonds on your uniform, and people, but in essence, you can wear sparkly stuff on your uniform. Heck, that won't even upset anyone. As a matter of fact, the real part of the reason of uniforms is to give the commanders at least. Standards and colors also play into effect, but uniforms were to give the enemy, the commander, the ally, your commander, the commanding officer of your army, the very first glimpse of what the heck is going on, what unit is this, what, etc, etc, etc. Obviously, that's going to be problematic when multinational armies come around, with especially the Saxons wearing white, so do the Austrians, so there's, yeah, like I said, there are some cases of mismatch. That is also why you need to have colors, standards and colors. Those are the next most important thing besides uniforms. But for those that are interested, white does turn into black, especially on campaigning season, although you can easily clean that, and the easiest way to do that is, I kid you not, putting powder on your uniforms. Does that work? Yes, it works. Have I tried it? No. But I know it works because historical sources tell me it works. So you have to go by their word. At least the French did it in the American Revolutionary War. And the 7 Years' War, I think. Actually, no, it's true. So, yeah. Anyway, we won that battle. We lost 744, and we're just Echizu. We just taken Echizu. Although it is going to be the first of many campaigns against Takayama. Wait, no, this is not the Takayama. Wait, what faction are these guys again? I don't know. Anyway, they're actually, yeah, I think I'm Fukui, I think. Wait, is it? I don't know. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's the Fukui. So we're gonna be at war with the Fukui for a long time. How long? I don't know. Just long enough. Because they have 4 provinces and they have an army, at least a somewhat massive army. So yes. And those were the ones that helped me take Ichigo, and I promptly thanked them with a betrayal in their back. So yes. Nice job of me betraying an ally. Well, not even an ally. They were just. I'll literally call this episode. You help me fight a war, and then I kill you, or something along the lines of that. The Takayama, which I recently declared war, want peace, and obviously that is a big no-no. I will not be accepting your peace. Oh yes, an allied army. I don't know what you call these people. Nagoya declared war on the Takayama, and hence they're joining the war with me and taking Mino. And we're gonna assault. The enemy army is not special, although I do not want night battles. I am gonna say, because I also need to like save the battle replay, not the battle replay, the campaign, just in case something stupid happens with my computer. Yes. We've lost 800, yeah, while the enemy lost, yes. Oh, I'm also starting to realize this battle was combined casualties, And if I would have fought in it, I would have had most of the my allies' troops just going through, and my troops are just gonna stay in the back. But hey, what can you really do? I chose to auto-resolve. Was that a good decision? I could say that probably not, but hey, it's time-saving, and especially with these Shogun 2 campaigns, time-saving really matters. Just having my geisha scout around. I'm also trying. I can also build a stuff, but because I have so much money in the bank, and I decided to do nothing. And the reason why I decided to do nothing, actually, no, I'm going to do something. I think build a cadet school or something. Yeah, I eventually decided to build a cadet school. But as of right now, I need money, and the reason why I need money is I need to build railroads. And the reason why is, looking on the map, you can see that these provinces are massive. And in order to even move to these provinces, you need to march a long time. That is why you need railroads. I cannot stress the importance of railroads. Yes. Railroads. I'm sorry guys, for those that are tired of me rambling on about nothingness or history, I'm really sorry, but yeah. There's nothing really in the campaign that's worth talking about. Like, literally during the entire campaign, it's just me like destroying Japanese factions and then just trying to expand on my empire. This part is really boring. Basically we have all of the northwest from my perspective, the northwest at war with me, northwest of Japan, and northwest of me, to be exact, just to make it more clear. Northwest at war with me, and we're winning. Like, there is no way in heck we're gonna lose. Yeah. Although it is putting a strain on my army, although you have to admit, the army's goal is to fight. So, you see what I mean, right? The strain on my army is, that's it, and then, yeah, that's it. So, there's nothing really much to talk about except for, the most thing I'm actually afraid about is that the British might come from the west, and they go east, and I'm going west, and we meet literally in a collision course. That was the thing that I was most afraid about. And is there anything else I was afraid about? Yeah, there was pretty much nothing else. Although I was literally afraid that the British will take more territory than I do. Stuff like that happens. At this point, I was deciding whether to go to war with the Northern Alliance, because the Northern Alliance really sucks compared to my stuff. Also, Northern provinces, although they're not rich, they do keep me from like being stabbed in the back eventually. But I guess that'll wait for later. As of right now, I'm just seeing what the heck the enemy has, and I'm literally trying my best to distinguish between allied and enemy factions. Obviously, in the I've been used to somewhat playing stuff. Learners, my lord, a man with passion for learning has been promoting different ideas and technology, believing them to be key to our national development. Of course, I want to encourage that. This is what I believe too. But speaking about diplomacy, and we're gonna declare war on the Numida. Three Kingdoms did a very good job with its diplomacy. Like, all you have to look is one look at the map and you can tell who the heck is at war with you, who the heck is not at war with you, stuff like that. So, thank you very much, Three Kingdoms team. Oh, actually, no, the Three Kingdoms team is the Creative Assembly, so, yeah. Very sad that it didn't go too well for the fans, because I was pretty pissed when they decided, nope, we're not gonna do any more Three Kingdoms anymore, and really made me angry. We're gonna try to assault Mito, but there is a massive army in the field, blah blah blah, stuff like that, good stuff. So because my general is Gunter, in this case I'm gonna attack the Fukui. But that is a thing for later, and we do not have enough time for this episode, so have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Now before you leave, I would like to thank you very much for watching this video. I would be honored if you could like and subscribe to the channel. Remember, more videos are coming out, so it is a good idea to click on that notification button. Anyways, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.